Hi again, welcome to the fourth of the Command and Colours Napoleonic solo series that I'm making at the moment. Just really so I get a chance to play this game as much as anything else. But it also shows you how some of the mechanics move and how some of the mechanics work, and also just how the game plays in general. This is the fourth scenario, the Battle of Corunna, 16th of January 1809. This is the one where Sir Thomas More is killed, and Wellington, I think, arrives afterwards and takes over from the army. This one is quite a large game. As you can see, quite a few units on this one. It's mostly British. Well, it is all British on this side. Mostly infantry, is what I should have said. They've only got one cavalry unit. French, on the other hand, have only got two cavalry units, and again, a large amount of infantry as well. So this should be quite an interesting little set too. So, no more waffle from me. Let's just crack on with this game and see who wins. So the French have the first turn. They have 5 cards. It's the first side to get to 6 victory banners. So quite a few. So we've got probe the left flank, Elan, probe the left flank, scout the left flank, and leadership. Not a great deal of choice there. Let's put these left flank ones together so we know what we've got. Elan is you roll dice, and then the type of unit that you roll is ordered. They would roll 5 dice for that. That might be, I think that's probably a good one to try actually. Let's try that for the first turn. So we roll 5 dice, and for every symbol they can activate something of that type. Okay, so that's nothing for those. So we have 1 cavalry and 1 infantry. Well, they've only got 2 cavalry units, so they will activate these ones. 1, 2, just bring these forward at least. In this first case, just get them up. And infantry, let's move forward some of these at the back, I think. Just start getting this line moving a little forward. So that was the French turn. No great shakes there. Right, Britain. So we have reconning force, attack centre, scout left flank, probe right flank, and attack the right flank. I think, given where our units are, I think it's going to be reconning force. That will give us a good spread to get some units moving about. So the centre unit will bring John Moore to join that unit, and secondly we'll bring forward this unit. Keep them up on the hill though, but they will at least stay up there in that terrain. And then on this side, let's do the same with these. Bring these up onto the hill, get them in some kind of protection at least, because they get a -1 when being attacked if they're up on a hill. So no firing. And back with the French. So we've got leadership, scout left flank, probe left flank, probe left flank, and probe left flank. So it's all about the left flank today. Well, let's do the probe left flank, shall we? Or actually no, I'm going to scout the left flank, because that then gives them 2 cards, and also it's not a great card because you can only move 1 unit with it. So they will get these heavy cavalry coming up here to start threatening these British infantry, I think. So that was their turn, so they take 2 cards, but we discard 1. So the other one was the assault right flank. Okay, Britain's turn. They've got attack right flank, probe right flank, scout the left flank, fire and hold, or attack centre. So, not a great choice, really. I think we're going to go with attack centre. So that gives us a bit more tactical flexibility. So 2 of those units will be these 2. They will move these forward, get them up onto the top of this hill, so that they can fire at any French. And these ones here and we have an artillery unit which could fire at the horses there. I think I'll do that. So that's 4, 3, 2, 1 dice. May as well do something. And that is a kill on the French cavalry, so that wasn't too bad. Right, let's see what these French can get up to. So they've got to probe the left flank, probe the left flank, leadership, probe left flank, probe, and a cavalry charge. So they could order their cavalry, but there's only one of them close enough at the moment, so that would be a waste to use that. So I'm not going to use that one, so we will go with probe the left flank, because that's going to activate those cavalry anyway. Well, we'll first of all move these ones up in support, and these will attack the infantry. Now the infantry get to decide if they want to go into square, because they're about to be attacked by cavalry, and they're going to. So what we do with that is we basically take one card at random from the British cards, and we place it on square number 1 space, and then they get a square token, so we know that they're in square, and they will remain in square while they are being attacked. And with squares, the square rolls first. If it gets a flag, it bounces the cavalry off and they can't attack it. No, it doesn't, but that still causes the casualty on the French attackers. The French only get to roll 1 dice against the square, and that's an artillery, so that does nothing. So that's how good squares are, really. They're pretty good at holding cavalry at bay. So that's the French turn, and over to the Brits. Just did a quick check of the rules, and the cavalry shouldn't have actually rolled any dice because they were attacking uphill. They only roll 1 dice when attacking a square, -1 for going uphill. Shouldn't have rolled anything. However, being in square, as I say, cuts down the tactical choices of the British while they're in square. But they've got quite a few good cards there, so I think we're going to go with forward and see what we can do with that. Right, so in the centre we'll move these into the town, because that will make them harder to hit. It's more difficult to get them out of the town than it is to get them off the hill. And bring forward this light unit, 1, 2, they can move 2 and not fire. So they're slowly forming a defensive line up on this back line here. And we have 2 over on this side. Well, let's attack. Let's do a combined arms attack with the artillery and the cavalry here. So we got the light cavalry and the artillery as well. So the light cavalry are attacking with 3 dice. The artillery is attacking with 1 dice at that range. Let's just check that. 4, 3, 2, 1, yeah. So we roll those together, and that is 1 kill on the French heavy cavalry. They get to battle back, so they will do. They're normally rolling 1 dice, add 1 because they're heavy cavalry, but -1 because they're going uphill. So that is 1 kill on the British light cavalry. So like for like, really there. Right, let's see what the French can get up to in their turn. Cavalry charge, leadership, probe left flank, and probe centre. Yeah, I think it's probably time to start getting this centre moving. So let's get some of these units forward, I think. Bring these light infantry up. There's 1. They're moving 2 forward. They don't have. They can't fire if they move 2. And could always start firing with the artillery as well. The artillery firing into the town is going to be a -1. So let's have a look. 4, 3, 2. Be rolling 1 dice. Let's give it a go. That's a kill. And because They've made a kill on that unit. We roll our dice for the kill on the leader. No, he hasn't been killed, he's okay. Neither two sabres. Right, back to the Brits. We've got probe right flank, scout left flank, fire and hold, and assault centre. Assault centre is a number of units or units equal to the number of cards in your hand, including that one, so that would be 4 units. Again, there's not a great deal in range in the centre, unfortunately. We could do some manoeuvring a bit. Wait for these French to get up a bit closer. Yeah, let's go with the assault centre, so that would be ordering 4 units. So the artillery will fire at the cavalry again. We'll bring the Grenadier Guards forward, just to add to that, strengthen that line. These two will be able to fire at the advancing French light infantry, so that would be 4 units. So we'll do the firing. So the guns first of all firing at the cannon, the horse, sorry, that's nothing. Then we've got the line infantry, they're firing 3 dice, plus 1 dice because they're British and they haven't moved. So that's no kills because sabres don't count in combat, in line combat, sorry, in firing. And then we have the British light infantry. They get 5 dice plus 1, and that's it. So 6 dice, same again against the French. This time they have caused 1 hit and 2 retreats. They can ignore 1 of the retreats because they've got a support from the artillery, but they lose 1 and they have to fall back 1. So pushing them back to their start line. Right, so we've got probe left flank, leadership, probe the left flank, put those two together, cavalry charge as always, and rally. The rally is pretty useless at the moment. It would just add units onto already damaged units. The only one we've got is the French cavalry over there, and to be honest, it's probably not worth trying to save them at the moment. But they do have the probe left flank, which they could use and attack with. They would also get rid of the probe left flank as well. Or we could also order the leaders and their units with them. I think, yeah, let's go with the leadership. So all leaders with a unit, they can be ordered as well. They also get an additional dice when attacking. So let's move these forward. And they can at least fire into the town. We also have these. Let's get them in amongst the trees. French generals leading from the front, and these ones forward as well. So at least we've got to move 3 units there. And firing into town, infantry firing in is -2, so they might not actually be able to make it anyway. Because they're halving the dice, they've already got 2, they're firing into town, so that becomes 0, so they can't actually do anything. These ones have moved, they're halving their dice, becomes 2. They could fire uphill, so with a -1, so they're going to fire at the unit there. No, nothing, that was artillery. Okay, back to the Brits. We've got scout left flank, probe right flank, fire and hold, and cavalry charge. Cavalry charge, maybe that might be useful. They do get an extra attack in their turn, and if they're going to use something like the probe right flank, they will probably attack with the cavalry anyway, and then they probably use the artillery to give them that extra bonus anyway. So let's use a cavalry charge, get rid of it, get it out of the way, because it's not. I'd prefer to hold on to the other one because that orders more units. So they're attacking with 3 dice against the French heavy cavalry. That's 1 kill. So that's destroyed the French cavalry, giving Britain their first victory banner, first of 6, and they get to move up, which they will. So that was probably the best thing they could have done. Right, France again. So we've got probe the left flank, cavalry charge, rally, and attack left flank. So everything is on the left flank. Right, so we'll go with attack left flank. Or let's burn out the cavalry charge, get rid of that, because I was going to use the cavalry anyway. Let's give them that extra bonus to attack the British light cavalry. So we've got 1, 2. So they get a +1 on their attack. They're heavy cavalry anyway, so they also they get 4 dice, +1 because they're heavy cavalry, and also they get another +1 because they're doing a cavalry charge. So they need to do 2 kills, and they haven't done that. What they should have been fighting against infantry there. So they've done 1 kill and forced to retreat. Cavalry don't need to retreat because they are supported by the square. The square can't be supported by things, but it can lend support. So the British cavalry then get to fight back, and they force the French cavalry back. Well, they're pretty useless today, this French cavalry. So that ends the French turn. Right, back to the Brits then. So we got fire and hold, probe right flank, scout left flank, and bayonet charge. Well, there's no units that are next to you. I don't really want to deal with the bayonet charge because that'll mean bringing people off their areas. So it might be probe right flank, I think, and this may be, well, maybe not even. No, let's go with scout the left flank. Get rid of that card anyway, and just move these ones up to here. Doing that again to strengthen that line and get that line of hills held pretty firm. So we take 2 cards, shuffle them up, not that I know which one is which, get rid of one and keep the other. Okay, so back with the French. They've got their probe the left flank, rally, probe the left flank, attack the left flank, and probe the centre. So a few choices there. Again, all based around the left flank really. They haven't lost enough units to use the rally card, so we'll get rid of that anyway. The attack the left flank might be useful actually, given they've got an artillery and infantry unit there. So yeah, I think we'll go with the attack left flank. At least reduce the number of left flank cards we've got there anyway. So heavy cavalry will attack the British light cavalry. As I say, we've got these guys moving forward. They won't be able to fire into that town, but we can move the artillery forward to get them up, so they could probably start bombarding the town at least if an attack goes in at some point. So we've got the heavy cavalry. They're rolling their 5 dice plus their extra 1 because they're heavy cav, and a retreat but also a kill. So that's destroyed the British light cavalry, giving the French their first victory banner. First of 6. Okay, back with the Brits. We've got bayonet charge. One thing I forgot to do there was do a follow-up attack with the French cavalry, but I wasn't not going to because they're in square anyway, so there would be no point in attacking them because it's almost impossible to break square with cavalry. So the British, they are going to hold and fire. This is probably the perfect time to do this. So issue an order to 4 or fewer infantry or artillery units. They perform range combat with an extra dice. And you cannot be adjacent to enemy troops, so this is a good chance to actually rain some fire down on these, and it's going to be these 4 that are all firing. So we'll start with these ones. These are the line infantry. They're British. They get 1 extra block for firing because they haven't moved. They also get that extra 1 for their hold and fire, so they're firing against the French over here, just in range. Ooh, that's 3 kills. God, that's pretty devastating, straight up. We then got the light infantry, they roll 5 dice, plus their extra dice, and their extra dice. So they're actually rolling 7 dice there, and they're firing against these French infantry here, the light infantry. That's cocks, let me re-roll that. So that's 3 casualties and 2 retreats. So 1, 2, 3 casualties. They've got a leader, so they can ignore 1 retreat. They're also supporters, so they can ignore both retreats. But we've got to do a test to see if the leader is killed. No, he's not. And over here we've got line infantry, so they're firing their normal 5, plus their extra 1 for the hold and fire. So the first one's here. They have killed 2 infantry. And let's see if their leader is hit from the first fire. No, he's not. And then we have same again, 6. Sorry, let me pull those back. Just realised they're firing into a wood. Firing into the wood does, I'll just check this. Firing into it is a -1. So we'll start again from the start. So they're starting with 6, -1, so they're only rolling 5. So it's only 1 kill this time, but that's still enough to see if their leader is killed. No. And same again, 5 from the other ones. This time 1 kill and a retreat. They're not retreating because they've got a leader, but we'll roll to see if their leader is hit. No. But that was not bad actually. It's pretty much devastated that French front line. So that was a good turn for the British there. And we're back with these guys. So we've got probe the centre, probe the left flank, probe the left flank, rally, and assault left flank. Everything is left flank in this game. I don't want to do anything with that left flank at all really, so let's ignore those. But, so I think, it might be time to roll the rally dice to see if we can get some of these infantry back in. So I think I will. So I will roll a battle dice equal to the command number of cards. So 5 dice. For every symbol, they get a block returned. So we get 1 infantry, 1 cavalry, and 1 artillery. So we only get 1 infantry back. So they'll put it back with the leader here. And that isn't going to do a great deal for them actually, because even if they fire, they can use that unit to activate and fire, but it's not going to do a great deal. So what I'll do actually, instead, I'll not give it to them, I'll give it to them, and then they will activate and they will fire uphill at those. So they're starting on 3, but -1 because they're firing uphill. So they've hit 1 and killed 1. That's probably the best I could do there really. And on the British side, bayonet charge, probe right flank, attack centre, fire and hold. Well, it worked so well last time, let's do it again. Fire and hold. They've still got 3 targets in front of them. So we start with these guys there, they're starting with a 3. They get 4 because they stood still. They get an extra 1 because they've got the fire and hold. 3 kills, so that's a British victory flag, so that's 2 so far. The next one, this is 5 light. They're stood still, so they get another extra 1, and they also are using fire and hold, so they get an extra 1, so that's 7 dice firing at these. And that's enough kills. This time we roll to see if the leader has been killed, but we only roll 1 dice. No, he hasn't, so he retreats. So he'll come back, we'll drop him back to there. Then over here we have the first unit has got 4 dice because they stood still, plus that extra dice. Firing into a wood, don't forget that, so -1. So this time they've taken 2 hits and a retreat. The retreat doesn't count because they've got a leader. Well, let's see if the leader's killed. No, he's not. And then we have our final unit, which is 4 infantry, +1 because they stood still, +1 because they're firing whole, but -1 because they're firing into the woods. So that's another kill. So that's another casualty there. So that's another flag for the British. Let's see if their leader is killed this time. No, he's not. So he retreats and he'll fall back to there. The British get another flag, so they're now on 3. So that's suddenly gone up. And it's over to the French. Right, Frenchies. Probe the centre, assault the left flank, probe the left flank, probe the left flank, probe the right flank. Finally, something else. This is a tough one, really, for what to do. I think probe the centre. Let's get this artillery firing. I think there's 2 artillery there. Let's try and break up some of these units as they are in the town. It's only a -1 to fire into the town for the artillery, so 4, 3, 2 becomes 1. So they're both are going to fire at that 1 unit. I'll do the 2 rolls. They're both rolling 1. Neither of those have hit. So that was the French turn. Absolutely pathetic. Back with the British. We have probe right flank, bayonet charge, attack centre, and flank attack. Not a great choice really there. Probe the right flank might be the one to do, but it's not a great choice. No, let's go with. I would attack the centre, but there's nothing in range really apart from using these 2 here. I don't want to waste units if I can avoid it. Let's go with probe the right flank. We can move the infantry up and they can fire at the cavalry. No. What am I thinking? First of all, artillery is going to fire the cavalry and the square will fire the cavalry. The square only rolls 1 dice even no matter what, so we'll just do that. There you go, it's killed 1. And the artillery has done nothing. So at least they killed 1 cavalry unit, a cavalry block. So back with the Frenchies. Assault the left flank, probe the right flank, left flank, probe the left flank, probe the right flank, and then leadership. So that's a unit with leaders attached. So again, there's 3 of those. Or they could, I don't know, maybe do something on this right flank. Maybe attack that, move the cavalry to attack the artillery, or threaten them at least. And he'll also clear out some of these left flank cards as well, because they're starting to get a little bit annoying. So they'll ignore that. They're not going to go anywhere near that square. They'll start moving towards the British cavalry, the British artillery. Their second one will be this artillery is going to fire here, so they're only rolling 1 dice again. Okay, the Brits, let's see, we've got the attack the flank, bayonet charge, attack centre, and give them cold steel. That's only units that are adjacent to the enemy, so that's automatically out. Attack the centre might be useful because we can fire at a couple of things, I think, here. Now we could probably get these guys firing. These could fire, and then we could also move a unit, so I think attack the centre is probably the best. So we'll get the Grenadier Guards, move them forward. They can move and then fire. I've also got this unit as well. They're in line of sight of those cavalry, so they'll fire first. No, we'll do the artillery first. So they're going to fire 4 3 dice. And that's 1 kill. They will. Then the Grenadier Guards will fire. They have moved. We'll just check what happens with them when they move. They get half the blocks rounded up +1, so 3 blocks +1 because they moved. and that's not a single hit. But we also have the guys in the town as well. They're firing, they're just firing. They're 3 dice plus 1 because they haven't moved. And that's 1 more hit. So at least reducing the French cavalry, if not destroying them just yet. And we're back to it. Leadership, assault left flank, probe left flank, probe right flank, the grand manoeuvre. That's only really for movement, but it might be worthwhile getting those forward so they can attack the units in the centre. They can move up to four squares, so that would actually bring them ready to assault. I think that might be the best one at this point, just to get these units off this back area here, so they make a strategic move up to 4 hexes. Ordered units may not battle, but we can go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's just, it might just be worthwhile just trying to knock these Brits off these areas here, and let's get these ones up as well, so they can then attack in a future turn. And let's see what the British do with that. Flank attack, bayonet charge, give them cold steel, probe centre. Well, it seems a bit silly not to give them the cold steel, I say. So I've forgotten I got that. So we've got issue an order to all units adjacent to an enemy. Ordered units may melee with 1 additional dice. They cannot engage in ranged combat, but they may not move before melee combat. After a successful melee, they may take ground and make a bonus melee attack with a standard number of battle dice. Okay, so we're going to give them a cold steel. We've only got 3 units that are adjacent, so it's these, and these. They all get a +1 on their attack. So we'll start with the British Light. They are attacking with 5 dice, turns into 6 dice against these ones here. That's 3 kills. So that's 1 French unit straight out. They will follow up. Let me just check that. It might just be the cavalry that get that extra attack. 100% take that. After successful melee, infantry may take ground and cavalry may perform cavalry breakthrough and may make a bonus melee attack. That's just the cavalry then. So what they will do is stay where they are. In fact, I'm not going to move them forward. Hey, I'm playing solo. I'm allowed to do this if I want. Okay, so now we have this line infantry. There's no battle back there from the French. So the line infantry, they're attacking with 4 dice. So that's 2 kills. They'll attack this middle unit because the other one will also attack them as well. So they're getting 5 dice against 2. And that's enough to kill them. So that's 2 victory banners for the British in that 1 turn. So they're now on 5 out of the 6. So they only need to destroy 1 more French unit and that's it, game over. Right, let's have a look at French. We've got probe left flank, probe right flank, leadership, assault the left flank, and probe right flank. We've got 1 unit here on the right flank, so we could actually use a right flank attack here. That would be useful, I think, to see what we can do and get somebody else moved up. Or we could use a leadership because that unit is attached to a leader, so they could attack as well. And that will also mean we can move the other units up, so I'm going to do that. That's probably the best. So these get to move 1. So we'll bring these behind the artillery. And these ones will just advance towards... No, they'll not. I don't want to block the other unit there behind them, so let's get them up. And these ones are attacking up this hill. They get a +1 on the dice. These are just light, so when they get a normal attack, They just get a normal melee of 4, but they're attacking uphill, but they get the +1 for their leadership. So let's see what happens here. That's 2 kills. And the British get to battle back. So that's 1 kill and a retreat. But they've got a leader, so they don't have to retreat. See if the leader is killed. 2 sabres. No, he's not. Right, so the Brits, like I said, they're now on 5 victory cards, so they actually need only to kill 1 French unit and they're done. So they've got flank attack, bayonet charge, probe centre, or recon in force. Ooh, this is a bit of a tricky one. Probe centre might be alright because then they can fire down onto these units here and hopefully smash them up a bit. Bayonet charge, that before infantry units can move up to 2 hexes and battle in melee. So we could just move them into attack. Actually, that might be the best one, just to try to finish off as many of these. I think that's probably the best one. I'm going for the kill. So these ones will go 1 and bayonet charge. They will also bayonet charge, so that's 2 of them. That's the 3rd one that will, and then these ones will move in to attack these as well. So that's the 4th one. So hopefully out of this we might actually end up getting a couple of victory tokens, and if they do, then that's it. So we'll start with the light infantry. They're just attacking on their normal 5 dice. 2 kills, 2 retreats. So they will have to fall back. We'll fall them back into the woods there. They can follow up, so they will do. Because I want to get them into range for next turn to start firing if they can. If we go on to the next turn. So that means these guys don't get a chance. These ones will, so I'll do the weaker unit first because they're less likely to force them back. So let's have a look. So that's 1 kill. It means, let's just test if the leader is killed. Nope, but the French do get to battle back, but they are fighting uphill and they're only light. So they kill 1 British soldier. At this point the Brits can take as many hits as they want, it doesn't really matter. And the final British unit is these 5. They're attacking with their bayonets. 2 kills and a retreat. 2 kills is enough. Let's just see if the leader is killed. He's on his own actually, sorry, so I'll re-roll that 1 dice. No, he's not killed, but he retreats. So the British get another victory flag. That is their 6, and that's it, game over. That's the Battle of Corunna. Sir John Moore wasn't killed this time round. The French, I think, had some particularly bad cards in that one. Everything was concentrated on the left side, and as soon as the Brits had gone into square, it was a bit difficult really to do anything, because attacking into that town wouldn't have been very easy. It's -2 for cavalry attacking into town. Again, these guys were all in good positions here. It would have been better if we'd got a lot of cards in the centre. If that grand manoeuvre card had come up very early on, that would have been a good one to get everything up in this centre to get them ready to fight. Very infantry centric game, this scenario, and a good one as well. I didn't expect it to go this way. Again, I think I've played this one before and the results were very different. I think it was a French victory. They absolutely battered the British. So, you know, although you're seeing it from one side in this particular time, don't expect the game always to go this way. But another enjoyable game of Command & Colours Napoleonics. I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. Just have a quick look at the casualties over here. Something I don't normally do, but just to show you the big pile of French and the small pile of Brits. They lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 blocks. The French lost about 8 million. So there you go. Great game. If you've enjoyed it and you want to watch more of these, there'll be more coming in the future. Stay tuned by subscribing and liking the video. Thanks a lot.